My name's Lincoln Crisler, and I wrote Kettletop's Revisionary plot for the This Means War anthology. I've been writing since 2006. I'm a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army on active duty, and after one deployment I realized that I could do more with my time while I was gone. During my second deployment, I started writing again. I wrote when I was a kid and laid it aside for a few years. Got back into it in 2006 while deployed to Afghanistan, and I've just been working my little butt off ever since. I would describe myself as a writer with a darker worldview. I don't see things as being, sweetness and light or all brightness all the time. There's good things, but there are bad things, and I guess I tend to see the harsh realities a little bit more. Wouldn't pigeon myself into horror. I love science fiction too, for instance, so. No, as a writer who views things through darkly tinted glasses, I guess you could say. Writers that influenced me from the start, I've always been an avid reader of comic books. I've always been a huge fan of comic books, which is part of the reason that the Zombies vs. Robots project appealed to me. I also have a heavy background in fantasy, which is funny because fantasy is probably what I write the least. Huge fan of Piers Anthony Zant series, Terry Brooks's Shannara and Landover, Anne McCaffrey's Tower and the Hive. And then for horror, I've really gotten into like Stephen King, Peter Straub, Dean Koontz to start off with. And as I've progressed and grown in the horror community, primarily I do work within the horror community, no matter how many other things I write, I've really come to respect authors like Weston Oakes, Brian Keene, Rath James White, Brian Smith, that work their butt off to get where they're at. And those are a lot of my main influences these days, are those horror authors. It's not that I just, can stop in the middle of a gunfight, of course, and go write a book, but when I am not doing that stuff, I have my time to myself. I might have like a 4, 5, 6, 2 week, whatever span of time where I can't write, but when I can, I'm not running errands or taking care of the kids, no matter how much I love them, or doing the honey-do list for the wife or waxing the car. I'm either on or I'm off, and when I'm off, I can write. Kettletop's Revisionary plot is my Zombies vs. Robots short story. It is about a scientist who worked on the Time Portal project with the other 3 scientists from the initial ZVR series. He goes back in time to try to stop the apocalypse, to stop the outbreak, and save his relationship with his wife, who was a victim of the zombies when the outbreak first happened. The science fiction aspect with the time travel is a bit heavier. My heart elevated when I saw the IDW proposal, the stuff in my email box about the project. It said the time portal is on the table, and immediately my heart elevated when I saw that, because I knew that was going to allow me to tell a human story, because people make mistakes. And sometimes, the cool thing about being able to time travel, if you could do it, what makes people think about it is, could you possibly go back and undo some things that you did? And maybe if this guy had done something instead of hiding in the John, maybe he could have saved his wife.